Hello, everybody. This is Self Care Saturday with Erin Lefebvre, moi, and
And
Emily Morrison.
me. Hello, everyone.
So we are streaming in a wide variety of places right now. So if you're like seeing us on multiple places, that's because we really are. We're teleporting all over.
It's not your computer glitching out. This is for reals happening.
It is for reals. So I am with Full Circle Herbals. I'm an herbalist and plant priestess. And Emily, who are you?
And well, I'm many things, but in this particular place, I am Emily of Wise Woman Witchery, and I run a business basically teaching witchery to people, and really helping women step into their power using earth based practices. So Erin and I complement each other very well.
We do. We just finished our winter solstice ceremony guidebook that I know many of you got. So we've been collaborating with things. And so today we're doing Self Care Saturday. Emily is going to start with a guided like grounding, and then we'll go into calming herbal tea blends, some things on self massage, and simmer pot. So stick around. We'll be here for a good, 15 minutes at least.
I bet it's longer than that. Once we get going, so we'll have to put ourselves in check. But I
Yes.
do want to get us started here just by getting us present. So here we are. It's the first day of a new calendar year. And I'm not going to lead us on a really long grounding, but I think it's really good for us to get in touch with our bodies and really land here as we spend this time together. You've decided to show up, hang out with us for a little bit, hear about a few self-care things, and maybe think about adding them to your practice. So let's really be here in order to do that. So you can take a moment, just settle in, get your feet firmly planted on the floor if they're not already. You can close your eyes down or soften your gaze, whatever is most comfortable for you in whatever location you're in. I'm going to close mine down so I can bring my awareness inside. And then let's just take 3 deep breaths. So as you breathe in, just begin to notice what's happening. What does it feel like to breathe air into your body? And what does it feel like as you exhale? As you inhale, perhaps noticing that expansion that's happening in your rib cage, noticing those intercostal muscles spreading wide, your belly filling. And as you exhale, you can feel your belly button pulling back toward your spine, your rib cage shrinking down again, perhaps even feeling a slight contraction with that release. And as you take that third inhale, make it the biggest and deepest breath that you've taken yet today. Perhaps when you reach the top of that inhale, hold it just for a pause, for a moment, for a count of 1 or 2, and then let it all go. Letting your breath just move back into its rhythm. Perhaps noticing that just by taking some intentional deep breaths, your natural rhythm of breath has deepened. And as you breathe here, feel your feet on the floor, maybe moving them forward and back and side to side, finding all 4 corners of those feet that do all this work holding us up throughout our days. Find your sits bones beneath you and rock a little forward and back. Rock a little side to side. Maybe do a couple circles in one direction and then the other. And as you do this, make those circles smaller and smaller until you find your center and allow yourself to land there. Feeling your feet beneath you, your hips supporting you, Maybe take a moment here to imagine there's a string at the top of your head and your crown pulling you up so that your spine gets just a little straighter. You can bring your shoulders up to your ears and back and down, letting those shoulder blades drop a little farther down your back, your spine a little taller, your body a little more present, and your connection to it a little more strong. And then allow your eyes to come back open. And welcome back.
How simple that was, and very effective.
Totally. It's the little things, you know?
So I see some people are joining us. I can see numbers, and I can see some people saying hello. Hello. We're going to be here for a little while, just talking about some self-care things to do. Emily and I are also hosting a retreat coming up. And what days are those? The 15th of
The
January.
14th and 15th.
Yes. So if you want to do a Nourish Yourself Through the Darkness retreat, Nourish Yourself Through the Darkness retreat, we're doing that. You can do that in the comfort of your home, and we'll be together. Emily is so great at doing visualizations and meditations, and we'll be doing a lot more of those during that retreat.
We will also be working with our dreams, since we're going to have 2 days. We're going to have an evening time together, and then we'll have a full day together with lots of breaks, because we know sitting in front of the computer all day can be tiring. But because we have that lovely bridge of night, we'll be able to do some dream work together, which is going to be really exciting.
Yes, and we've already created, I don't know, what are we calling it? The toolkit for people to prepare for the retreat so that you can make your cozy little nest, as Emily calls it. It's really great. So
your cozy little self-care nest.
Since we can't bring you the cozy things, we can help you think of all the things to do so that you can have a great experience during the virtual retreat. One of the things that I'll be also helping people find out more about is the herbs that are nourishing. And one of the things I want to share with you right now, I'm actually going to put a picture on the screen. Oh, look at us. We're going to move around here a second.
Woo!
And there we go. Oh, well, I don't know. We went someplace else on the screen. Let's see. I think that's all I can do. I can't see you, Emily. Can you see me?
I can see your shoulder.
Okay. Yes, I see your shoulder too. I just wanted to show people this really easy calming tea recipe that is inspired by Rosemary Gladstar. So just giving props to those wise herbal teachers that I learned from. But this one is really helpful as a beverage tea blend that you can make yourself. So something that just tastes really yummy. And if you drink, more than 1 cup a day, up to 3 cups a day, then you can really benefit from the properties of these herbs for their calming abilities. So lemon balm is the main ingredient here in this herbal tea blend. Lemon balm, as you can imagine, has a lemony flavor, and it just has so many great qualities, one of which is relaxing. None of these herbs will make you tired necessarily. They're not sedatives. So this tea blend is really great for all age levels, all sorts of things. Chamomile, oak tops, rose petals, lavender flowers. They're very gentle yet effective. So it's not one that I worry about or consider in terms of other pharmaceutical medications that people might be taking. These ones are just really gentle and nourishing for the body and the mind. And it smells great and it looks spectacular. So if you see the herbs on the screen right now, that's kind of what it looks like when you make it. You've got the rose and the lavender and the chamomile. And this is the recipe of how to put it together. And I can teach people during the retreat how to work with herbs. And when it says parts, how do you do that so that you can effectively blend your own tea. All right. So I will share that in the Facebook groups to this tea blend. So if you're not able to write that down just right now, that's all right. I will get that to you. And let's see if I can go back to,
We're here.
yeah, there we go.
I love that. That looks so tasty too. All those floral notes, and then with the oat, I always feel like oat is really like for me grounding. It has a little bit of that sweet yumminess to it. So it seems like a really great combo. Good
Yeah,
combo.
oats. It's the same thing we eat for oatmeal, just like the different part, different stage of the plant. And yeah,
Mhm.
it's just really nourishing, just like oats are nourishing. Good.
Yes, love it. Cool. Well, I look forward to making teas with you, Erin. And I hope that some of you who are joining us here today will also join us in the retreat so we can do that together. I love group activities.
We'll tell you what to have on hand before
Yes.
the retreat so that we can all mix together.
Yes. It makes it extra magical as we're all adding our energy even across time and space. So, what I want to share with you is a little bit about self massage. So, in one of my many incarnations of work that I have done, I was a massage therapist. And Erin's like, really?
Yeah, I didn't
You
know that,
did you?
but doesn't surprise me.
Right. So when I was a massage therapist, I learned lots of new skills, and I have taken those, in different. I'm a somatic psychotherapist now, so I do a lot of work with people with the mind body connection. Say that 10 times fast. And one of the things that I have learned is the power of self massage and how simple this action can be, and also how easy it is to incorporate in our day to day life. It's a very easy way to take care of our bodies. And so I just want to talk about a couple different ways that you might incorporate this into your life. And also, we can do a little bit together here, just very quickly. So, one of the things we can do is massage our hands. So, I don't know, you can just hold your palm and take your other thumb and just rub it across your palm. And just notice, like I notice when I do this, there are some tight spots in my palm from typing. And so, just this simple act is a reconnection to yourself. And you might be like, what? What are you even talking about, Emily? It's just rubbing my hand, whatever. No, for reals. Taking the time to intentionally get into the muscles in your hand, you can get up into your fingers. I know one of the things that people were often surprised about when I was working on them, and even now, if I'm doing body work on somebody, is, oh my gosh, I have so much sensation in the muscles in my fingers that even are kind of achy that I didn't even know. The things that we don't necessarily tune into and touch. But we can do this really simply, just like this, and switch hands and do the other one. We can do this with lotion. So maybe you have a certain lotion or oil, something that might be scented that's pleasing to you. Or if you're not a scent person, maybe use something unscented. You could even use something like coconut oil. To just take a little bit and use it as a lubricant to really rub into your skin and to moisturize your skin, especially during these winter months, when our skin gets so dry, or at least mine does. I don't know about y'all, but my skin gets real dry. But just really getting in there and rubbing these parts of yourself that maybe you don't tend to that much, because we sort of take our hands for granted until they're not working great. We can do this with our feet. I have shoes on right now, so I can't do that. But if you don't have shoes on, maybe while we're having this chat right now, you want to pull your foot up into your lap and just start rubbing on the sole of your foot, using both your thumbs to massage and make some movement in there energetically and physically. Make a little space in those feet. The other thing just to take into consideration with all of this is how you can incorporate this into right now. So you could do this anywhere, anytime you can rub your hands, and people probably won't even notice. You could make this a daily ritual as you get out of the shower or bath, so that you take a little extra time to maybe rub your lotion in, and you can do your full body. It doesn't have to take a long time. It's more about the intention behind it of, wow, I'm nourishing myself right now. I'm caring for my body right now. I'm intentionally doing this thing that feels good to take care of myself. It can be 5 minutes or less. It can be a minute and a half, whatever. But the fact is, you're taking that time for yourself, and that's the nourishing spots. I noticed Amy Lou's asking, aren't there spots on our feet that affect other areas of our body? Yes. So reflexology is a real thing. I am not trained in that. I have books on it, but I was never trained, so I don't know a lot about it. But you definitely can look up different charts, and play with your feet in that way as well. Like, oh, what is, notice where it hurts and look up a corresponding chart. What's going on in these other areas in my body? The other just really simple self-massage thing that I want to talk about is your scalp. So we hold a lot of tension in our scalp, and just taking some time to rub your scalp, whether it's when you're washing your hair. Does anybody else love getting their hair washed? It's like my favorite thing. But it's because there's just so much sensation in our scalp. And especially when you get back up underneath here in your occipital, there's so many points in there that can really affect other areas of our body. And headaches. It's another really powerful place to get headaches. But just something as simple as this, you're probably not going to do this, in front of other people all the time, because they'll be like, what are you doing? But you can do this pretty much anywhere really quickly, and just tune in, tap in. The other last one I'll show you is actually not massage. I'm taking my glasses off because I find this really, really soothing, is to just take the palms of your hands, like this part of your hand, the heel of your hand, and put it over your eyes. And this is just a very soothing, comforting experience. It's especially great if you're laying down and you can, really drop in deeply. But that's something I do to just reset throughout my day. I'll just take a couple breaths intentionally there. So self-massage. Easy to do. You don't need any special equipment, but you definitely could use oils and lotions and scents if that's something that feels really good to you.
And wait for your tea to infuse. You could be doing your hand massage.
I like it.
Oh,
Mixing
yeah.
it up.
Your self-care routine can be quick, effective, good for you.
Totally.
Except if you want a longer self-care, join our retreat and coming up here and set yourself a little cozy nest. And you can join me and Emily teaching you all sorts of things to nourish yourself through the darkness, which is winter here in the Northern Hemisphere. Today, it's about 0 degrees Fahrenheit, and tonight it'll get down even colder. So,
is it where you are?
Yes.
Yeah. I woke up to 29 degrees this morning and everything was icy. So I know that it gets colder where you are, but for here in Northern California, look, I have my woolly scarf on. I'm like, it's so cold. It's like 40 something outside.
It's cold. That's cold. Yeah,
it's chilly.
Doesn't have to be dangerous cold like here to be cold, but
right.
Something that's fun to do, I think, during the cold months is to do a simmer pot. What you want to talk about that, and then I'll add in some herbs and plants that can be added in.
Yeah. So I was mentioning, in the winter, my skin gets really dry. I feel like everything gets really dry in the winter. And one of the things you can do to combat that is to put a pot of water on the stove. So growing up, my grandmother always had the kettle going just like on low so that it was always like steam, especially this time of year, which was lovely. So there was always that moisture in the air. And I know some places tend to have more moisture in the air, but the cold really sucks it out. So you can put a pot of water on the stove to boil and then let it simmer. So you turn it down to simmer. So it's just steaming. Well, to make this a little bit more lovely, you can add things to it. And you can make this lovely as in it smells really great and it makes your home smell amazing. But you can also make it magical by adding intention to what you're doing. So, just a couple thoughts on adding the magic in. You can take things like bay leaves and write intention on bay leaves. So maybe you're wanting to infuse more joy into your home or more prosperity, or just a general feeling of wellness. You can write those words on a bay leaf and chuck those into your simmer pot. You can do all different kinds of combinations of things to put in your pot. And I'll let Erin talk a little bit more about that.
Yeah, I like to put in things that feel warm, homey, cozy. So you can save your orange peels if you have them during the day, or some apple peels. And that's what we put in ours when we were kids. In fact, we didn't call it a simmer pot. It was just something we did. And my mom would put in some sticks of cinnamon. So it would be kind of citrusy smell or kind of like an apple pie smell. But yeah, there was always water in there, just simmering a little bit. And if we had another apple or an orange and didn't want the skins of it, we just put them in there. And it lasts, I don't know, at least a day, maybe two. And then usually you strain it out. You could add in pine. You could add in a different tree, pines and spruces in there too. And just play around with, the strength of the smell, the scent that you want in. Because, of course, we all will be using different size pots and we all have different size places. But you can use allspices and cloves, anything that you have in your spice cabinet for cooking and baking, you can add to a simmer pot if you like the smell of it. So there's all sorts of things that we already have around us that we like the smell of. And of course, you could probably add some essential oil drops in there too if you want to. But just to have it's not such a strong scent coming out of it, I like to put those herbs and spices in there.
Mm-hmm. And the other thing to think about is, if you want to add a magical infusion, maybe there are certain plants that really speak to you magically about different, if you have a specific intention and you're thinking, I want to, I want to bring more calm to my house. What plants speak to you about calming? What are the energies that you connect to? And can you incorporate those into your simmer pot? You can also utilize this seasonally. So we're talking about winter right now. And I know in winter, I'm definitely more of like, give me the cloves and the orange and the pine and like all of those scents. But when you think about using this throughout the year, you might think in spring, what's blooming in spring? What scents are you called to in spring? Because we can always use a little more moisture. And we can always use some of that energy infused into our houses. So again, intention is what we have as our base foundation to use a tool like a simmer pot to infuse a space with that energy.
Yeah, I have some chamomile flowers right here.
I love that you share yourself. And here it is.
I have herbs galore next to me. So chamomile is a great one for calming. So, and I grew these. So there might be something you grew and dried and maybe it wasn't enough to make a tea or a potpourri or something like that. You could use those.
Oh, I love that. Yeah. Yeah, I think about using things like lemon balm and mint that I have in my yard when it's like summer. Those are scents that really are summery to me. So, wherever you are in the world, you might have a different connection with summer elements or spring or winter or fall. So choose what speaks to you. That's what's going to make it magical, is following what's speaking to you, not because I told you to do something or Erin told you to do something, but because something speaks to you energetically. And I think that's the important thing with self-care too, is it is not one size fits all. And so when we bring this to you, we're bringing you just a couple little tidbits today, and you might resonate with one or another one or go, I don't know, that's not really my jam. Cool. Know what works for you. Because it really is about tuning into what your body needs, what your spirit needs, and nourishing that. And that's really what we've created this retreat about as well, is just this idea of carving out some time for yourself to be in a sacred space with other people and to learn some techniques and practice them and see, how do they land for me? Is this something I can take and carry into my day-to-day life? And of course, I hope the answer is yes. And I know Erin hopes the answer is yes, because what we want is for women to feel empowered and feel really good about themselves and take good care of themselves so that they can shine their light in the world. Wow, I did not know I was going down that path, but I just did.
There you go. I just added the link to the comments. I'm not sure if everybody can see that link right now. It might be in YouTube. Since we're streaming in multiple places, I don't know where it's going.
Yeah, it's not showing up in the group, but
okay.
I can plug that in after here. So if you're watching this over in my Facebook group, I will take these links and I will add them to the description of this video. So if you're catching it on the replay, you can find it, or if you're watching it live now, just circle back in a few minutes and it should be there for you.
And we do have an early bird registration going on right now until tomorrow, the end of tomorrow. It's $233 for the whole retreat. And after that, it increases. So get in on that early bird registration, and we'll send you a nice kind of toolkit that we have to help you prepare ahead of time before we start in mid-January for the retreat, Nourish Yourself Through the Darkness. And yeah, me and Emily will be there. We'll have so many fun things to do, things where you can move your body, things where we can talk about dream work and get set up for that, sharing time, journaling
Use a little
time, divination, recipes for you to maybe prepare to have, because, hey, we're on Zoom, we can eat and drink at the same time. So have everything there for you.
So good. Awesome. Well, thank you, Erin, for taking this time. And thank you, everybody, for taking this time to drop in and hear about some of these things that you might incorporate, or maybe you're already incorporating into your self-care routines. As we start into the new year, there's always that feeling of, oh, we're going to, I'm making a resolution. I'm going to change this, that, and the other thing. What if instead of a resolution, we did like a self-care revolution where we just really took the time to take care of our bodies and take care of our spirits and just nourish ourselves so that we can go out there in the world and be the amazing people that we are, but with a little more fuel in our tanks.
That's what it does. It helps to make us feel like we want to interact with other peoples.
Yes.
Good for us. Good for you.
Absolutely. All right. Well, thanks for tuning in. Definitely go check out the link that Erin has shared here. And again, for those in my group, I will share that over there as well. And hopefully we'll see some of you at the retreat so that we can get to know you a little bit better and dig a little bit deeper into this very important topic and experience. Give yourself the experience.
Yeah. Good to chat with you today, Emily. Thanks again. And if anybody's watching the replay, feel free to put a comment in, and we'll be checking you back here later.
Yes, we will.
All right. Take care, everybody.
Bye.